On the Entrepreneur this week,
I'd recently quit my job and I was trying to make something for myself. I bought some ingredients and I sat down and mixed and I made our first cream. We ended up using it on hair. It was initially made for skin.
And on the second part,
when I started, I was just doing this for fun. House of David was formed as a need to have a conscious decision to conserve the environment. I used to collect these bottles, I clean them up, and then I just make beautiful pieces for my house.
Good hair days make me feel like I can rule the world. These words by Charlie Gordon, a famous American hairstylist, best depict what most people think about their hairdo. World over, various companies, both large and small, have invested their time and resources in search of the perfect hair product. Kenyan entrepreneurs have not been left behind in the industry. Washu Mureithi is the brains behind Mombasa Kenya. The company specializes in the manufacture of hair products for African hair.
How we started out is I recently quit my job like 2 years back. I'd recently quit my job and I was trying to make something for myself since I had imagined at the time that there would now be a cash flow problem. So I wanted to make something instead of having to ship from the US like we used to. So I bought some ingredients and I sat down and mixed and I made our first cream, and that turned out to be better than anything I've ever bought. So, and then we experimented with it. We ended up using it on hair. It was initially made for skin because my son and I, we suffer from eczema and allergies and lots of scarring. So we experimented on hair and it was better than anything we have ever bought.
Mombasa Kenya was established in 2015 with a startup capital of 1.5 million Kenyan shillings. This amount was used to purchase raw materials and the construction of Mombasa Kenya's premises. The farm currently has 5 products on its portfolio: a conditioner, a moisture milk, treatment, body cream, and a leave-in conditioner.
We differentiate ourselves mostly on the niche that we're trying to target. We are making natural products, yes, just like everybody else, but our pricing is more on the mass market kind of frame. But we're trying to make things that are easily affordable for anyone of any income. We try to use ingredients that we source. Basically, we want to even put it in our slogan, it's ingredients sourced from Africa. We want to source everything. We source already from Kenya and Uganda and Ghana, and we are looking to add on to our product lists, things from South Africa, things from Nigeria.
Locally, Mount Kenya and the coast region produce the right raw materials for her products. While she might have solved the issue of where to get raw materials, this proved to be quite a challenge in the initial stages.
One of the biggest challenges at the point of starting, beyond just looking for capital, was finding suppliers for the ingredients that we wanted to use, because we had a fairly good idea of what we wanted to include and for what reason. Like this one oil does that, that other one does something else. And the chemical part, the waxes, the emulsifiers and preservatives, things you would need to find an actual supplier for. Packaging was also quite difficult, it still is. Labeling, labels being made. And then there's the fact that now it all had to be paid for. So even when you find a supplier, it was finding a supplier who comes within my budget of the little money I had raised.
30-year-old Washu is a law graduate from the University of Nairobi. She is also the holder of a master's degree in strategic management from the same university. Between 2011 and 2015, the mother of one worked in various capacities at Dataposit.
Completely accidental. I never thought of myself as a business person. I always thought I was going to be one of those people who retire and get a golden handshake. And then while I was working, I got really, at the time I was getting sick. I think that's the word. I was getting very ill, depression, weight loss and all of those things that come along with it, insomnia, to an extent where I couldn't cope, operate anymore. So I decided to, at the time actually I wanted to change jobs. I wanted to find a new job. I had even applied for something and I was shortlisted and I was working on the interview. But I got to a day when I'd had a migraine for something like 4 weeks straight. So I just woke up one day and told my boss I can't, it's time to go. So I quit and I came home to now figure out what to do from here. Then this all happened to me.
In 2015, Washu would leave her lucrative job as a commercial human resource manager. Initially, she would find resistance from her family, who could not fathom why she was quitting a stable job so as to pursue a nascent career.
When I decided to quit my job at the time, it was just, I woke up a random Sunday and I called my boss and said I'm quitting. So I come back into the house and I tell everyone, okay, so I just quit my job. They said, what are you, how are you going to do this? How are you going to survive? How are you going to pay bills? How are you going to take your child to school? How is everything going to happen from here? And from there, but as soon as we started, as soon as I started to put everything together to have the brand, the brand name and the way that the products would look like in the end, they became more supportive of the idea and even started to help me out as I went along to assist with a little with their expertise.
Mombasa Kenya products would also have rave reviews from the clients that would use their first prototype. Washu is still nostalgic about her first ever customer. Having used all sorts of products, she would settle on Mombasa Kenya's products after using it for only one time.
I think one of the first ones that I even remember, my first client, her name is Rita. So she bought the first, she was trying at the time, as we were trying to find something that can help us with eczema and the itching and the rash and the scars that stay on afterwards. So once I had put up the post on Facebook on whether anyone was interested in trying to, in using this to see if it helps them as well. So she took up a jar at the time and tried it. And 2-3 weeks later, she calls back and says, hey, I want more. Whatever that stuff was, I want more. So it makes me feel very content because what I set out to do at the beginning, I'm able to accomplish. If I can find one person every day that is happy to use the products because they serve the need that they had in the beginning.
The global hair care market was valued at $81.3 billion in 2015. It is expected to reach $105.3 billion by 2024. Locally, the industry is controlled by multinationals like Procter & Gamble Co., L'Oreal, South Africa, and Unilever PLC.
To begin with, I think, first of all, I'm probably angry in a way that we have allowed others to be in charge of what we use on our skin and what we consume basically every day, when they do not care to put in the things that we ask for, the things that we need, the things they know work for our hair type or skin type. And then that it's also painful to have now as a person in the industry that I've discovered that most of these things that we thought would be shipped came from the US, came from the UK, they come from our continent. They have been shipped off to the other side and they have never been used locally. So it's a bit insulting. And on the other level, there are suppliers that you'd get in touch with and try to buy from, and they tell you, no, we only sell to export.
Currently, Mombasa Kenya has 3 employees working in logistics, supply and production. One function that Washu admits needs to be improved on its marketing department of Mombasa Kenya.
At the moment, we are existing, actually. Existing is the word. We're existing by word of mouth and customer references. So people that do use our products and love them call their friends and say, hey, you have to try this, this thing is working for me.
Even though Mombasa Kenya has been producing these products for the last 2 years, there are still challenges that need to be overcome on a daily basis.
Our biggest challenge actually at the moment is that we are at full capacity. We would like to be able to expand and go into retail because at the moment we're just working on deliveries. We would like to go into retail to be able to reduce the workload of making the deliveries because we can produce quite a bit more. And another challenge would be that we are also trying to raise money to be able to move to an industrial space because at the moment we're working from home, to move to an industrial space and maybe buy a couple of things equipment-wise so that we can simplify the work and produce more.
Musara Kenya might be grappling with capacity issues, but Washu is eyeing a bigger piece of the pie. In the near future, she hopes that her products will be available throughout the African continent. So what words of advice does Washu Muredi have for aspiring entrepreneurs?
The most important thing for an aspiring entrepreneur to take home with them every day is that once you decide that you want to become one, and once you have that idea that you want to work on, the best day to start is now. The best time to start is now. There's no mistake you're going to make that will kill the business. You're going to learn from every single mistake you make. So it's better to just go ahead, do it.
Don't go away. The Entrepreneur will be right back.